Welcome to Trades Take 10. We're here at the ASC Conference 2025 being held in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We're here with Melanie Ross from GBT from SAIT, Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. How has the conference been so far for you?
It's been fantastic. I've never been to an ASC conference. I only learned about it when SAIT put the bid in and asked if we would participate in some way, and the answer was a resounding yes. Sounded really interesting, and now I'm thinking maybe we should be attending these conferences more often.
Yeah, well, SAIT only became associated with this a couple of years ago,
Yep.
3 years ago. Yeah, it's great. What do you think the theme of this year's conference is about? What do you feel like there's a theme emerging through the sessions you've been to? And
Um, I think that there's a lot of tension in a good way around how we're trying to change things.
yes,
I think that there's a lot of content that's geared towards, how do we ensure not only learning outcomes as schools of construction, and how are we addressing that, but also what are the things that we can be doing to influence change in the construction industry overall.
yeah. So that's great. Now, tell me a little bit about you, about your history. Like, how did you come to SAIT, and how did you become doing what you're doing in GBT, and what is GBT?
So GBT is the Green Building Technology Access Center. So
Yes.
it's one of our research centers at SAIT. We're focused on high performance buildings, so both residential and commercial. And we've actually been at SAIT for quite a long time. We are in our 16th year as part of our Applied Research and Innovation Services Department. Um, Structured a little bit differently in the college polytechnic world, where research tends to sit as a center itself.
Right.
But we love our friends at School of Construction and other departments and schools at SAIT. We try to do a lot of work and kind of cross paths with folks who are interested not only in research but also the students that are really engaged in um, the paths of high performance building and wanting to enhance kind of their knowledge through more exposure to that.
I've been through that building. I've seen a lot of stuff in there as well. Mike and I have shot some videos in there. Um, it's tremendous how the building envelope is getting so much better, so much better. So, how did you become a part of this team?
Um,
What's your
I
background?
sort of fell into it.
Okay, well, that's cool.
I started actually at art school way
Okay.
back in the day with the intent to pursue architecture, and eventually moved into digital communications. So, on my path to then studying architecture. So, I did study architecture at Waterloo, and my husband and I uh, had an affinity for the West and the mountains and the outdoors. So we decided to come out and fell in love with Calgary and the area. So I worked for a number of different architecture and then engineering firms with a focus on sustainability, because
Okay.
that was where my passion was in terms of building to make a difference and to make change, affect change over time, and see the growth of the industry. And then an opportunity came up. Someone had reached out from a recruitment company and said, "Do you know anyone that could, fill this position?" And I understand they'd been looking for a while and hadn't found the right fit. And I said, I've never really thought about research and academia before in a fulsome sort of career pathway.
Right.
And I said, well, maybe we should have a chat. And the rest is history. I became the research chair for GBT, and I've been at SAIT for 6 years now, just about,
Nice.
and absolutely love what we're doing and the work that we're the partnerships with industry, the collaborations, the partnerships within SAIT. We're big institutions, so there's
Yeah.
just as much internally happening as externally, which is really interesting to me. And I really love the creativity and flexibility of being in a more academic environment where we're feeding off of the energy of the students and the industry, and everyone who's there is there to improve and move things forward, which is really wonderful.
I think it's a great place to work as well. I work there too. You said a word there that I just want to go back to: sustainability.
Mhm.
I struggle with the meaning of what that is. Can you give me a synopsis or something of what that is to you?
Yes, I can, and because I've thought a lot about this over my career. It's one of those words that it's the same with the word environmental.
Mhm.
There's actually a lot more uses for those words and its applicability to different industries and areas than just green building.
Yes.
But we do use those words quite hand in hand with more. The how do I say that? The sort of the fundamentals of what the environment stands for. We talk about climate change. We talk about, you know, damage to our natural resources,
Mhm.
that sort of thing, and that is where we make the linkages the most, as you know, sort of societally. But for me, sustainability can mean a number of things, and I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that anyone doing anything that is an improvement,
Mhm.
however small that move might be, is better than what we had before.
Okay.
And so when we look at things like building code, you know, we tend to, the majority of the industry is going to build to the bare minimum, right? So they're going to meet the code, but they're not going to exceed it. And so the challenge is you know, to be more sustainable, whether we're talking environment, whether we're talking practices and processes, construction techniques, health and safety, to be more sustainable is to exceed regulatory elements like the building code, build better, and we will have less issues across the board if we do that.
That's a fantastic synopsis of sustainability. Thank you for sharing that. It's important to me to know what it is because the word is thrown around a lot. And that was a great answer. So, I want to thank you for joining us here in this little chat at ASC. Take care, everybody.